Hello everybody and welcome back to the Jayoman channel, and it's been a couple months, hasn't it? So much for my big comeback after the summer. But anyway, first off, sorry for that. It turns out that yet again, I cannot be trusted to keep a schedule. Going back to college, summer holidays in general, I have really just not been very good at keeping up to stuff. So I apologise for that. I have got hours of footage that is ready to be, I just need to edit it, put it out for you guys, but I never seem to be able to get around to doing that, so hopefully I will. Although some of you have told me off for releasing so many gameplay ones, but still, can't please them all, 26 of you. So anyway, but today I thought I'd be doing something a bit different. As you may have seen in the title below, I have been watching Doctor Who, and well, what can I say? I went in with a bit of a meh feeling towards it, came out with a bit of a meh feeling. So I thought, you know what I'd do? I'd steal other people's ideas and do a little review just to pass the time between my next video, whenever that is. But anyway, here we go. Doctor Who, Season 9 I believe we're on now, of the new Doctor Who. I have to admit that up to now, ever since David Tennant left, I am a David Tennant fan, I haven't really enjoyed Doctor Who as much. Matt Smith, for me, didn't really like his Doctor. I felt like he tried to be too quirky and came off as being very annoying. I know a lot of people like him. Personally, I thought he was awful. The series, for me, hit a low point. Like, to me, it became unwatchable. Bit of an overstatement there. I just got so bored, I couldn't be bothered to watch it. That was when Clara, who played by Jenna Louise Coleman, and yes, she's a good actress, but her character, whiny, annoying, overreacts to everything. No, they just try and force her on you to like her. I just can't, no. Ugh. Anyway, this episode. So, Peter Capaldi, he's an alright Doctor. Bit dark, you know, which is good in some ways. He tries to be very, I don't know, in a way he seems quite evil about things. He's not evil, that's not the right word, but the other Doctors never like to see anyone die. They spend most of their life watching people die, and they end up just not being able to take anymore. Capaldi kills someone in the first episode of Season 8. So, that's his Doctor. But he seems alright. Anyway, so this episode, so like I said, Season 9, Episode 1. No idea what it's called. I will probably put that up below me right now. But, it's good research there. Basically, the episode starts off, if I can remember correctly, with the Doctor doing stuff. That's it. Remembered now. It's such a memorable episode. The Doctor, actually no, there's a war going on with some space lasers, and it's like, oh my goodness, it's amazing. So it starts off, there's all these soldiers, and then these soldiers see this little kid running along, and they're like, oh, kids shouldn't be here. This is a war. We should not have child soldiers. Politics. So they run over to him. Suddenly, someone says something about a hand mine, and I wasn't paying attention at this point. I was playing on my 3DS, so I didn't hear hand mines. I'm pretty sure it's hand mines anyway. That may be wrong. But anyway, what happens? The guy who tries to save the kid is grabbed by a hand and dragged under the ground. The kid stands there, all these hands of eyes come out, and the Doctor appears, and the kid says what his name is. His name is Davros. And for all of you who don't watch much Doctor Who, or do, but then just haven't seen this character, Davros is the leader of the Daleks, and I'm sure you all know what Daleks are. They're the exterminate, 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 exterminate. Oscar right there. They're the exterminate guys who are pretty awesome in some episodes, anyway. But anyway, he says his name's Davros. Cut to the opening credits, opening title sequence thingy, which seems pretty similar to the last series. It seems alright, I don't know. I still like the old one with Eccleston and Tennant's one. That was pretty cool. I'm just nostalgic though. Anyway, on the episode, So it cuts to Clara. Ooh, it's Clara. Yeah, in a school, because she teaches how to be overreacting to it. Everything. Anyway, so she's teaching. Suddenly, planes have stopped in the sky. Oh my goodness. They try to make a reference to the Doctor Who is hip and new, because, guess what they say? They reference Twitter. Clara, for some reason, seems to need to say the word hashtag, so she goes and throws hashtag out there. And I might seem like a bit of an old man here, but this hashtag lark is a bit overrated. I mean, just putting it in there, it just seemed a bit out of place. Anyway, so planes have stopped in the sky. Ooh, interesting. I'm getting a bit intrigued at this point. More intrigued, quite intrigued as well, because Davros is in the episode. Woo! So suddenly some guy runs in and says, "Oh, Unit's called you up." Okay. For some reason they called up Clara, because she's apparently the most qualified person for the job, because she knows the Doctor, supposedly. And they end up getting this really weird call from Missy, who is the mistress, who was the master, and the master was better. Anyway, we won't get into that. Personal opinions. So, have any of you watched Back to the Future 2? There's a bit at the start, I'm going off on a tangent here, there's a bit at the start where Marty goes into the future, so 2015, which was the future back in whenever that came out. So, this Jaws 3D thing's on, and it comes out, this massive hologram thing, and pretends to eat him, and it's like, oh, it's future technology. For some reason, Missy has this really bad CGI effect of popping out the screen, and it looks really bad. I think that's just a style, though. It's just cheesy stuff. But anyway, so she invites Clara to go talk to them. Clara talks to her. She asks for snipers there. And I like that because, not the snipers bit, but the fact that she's being a bit more like how John Sims, who was the Master Lieutenant, he played a very sort of deranged Doctor, but he was kind of like, let's put myself in awkward situations and see how it works out. Because it just reminded me of his character, so I quite like that. It turns out the Doctor's going to die tomorrow, whenever tomorrow is, in the episode, and he's got a will there, which has been delivered to Missy, the mistress or whatever. And Clara, being the overreactive person that she is, gets all upset that it wasn't handed to her because she's known the Doctor for like half a year now, and Missy has known him for however old he is. So she kills a load of people, which again reminded me of John Sims' Master, just randomly killing people for the sake of it, because that's what Missy, or that's what the Master did. Anyway, so that bit was quite cool. So they need to find the Doctor, so they pinpoint him in time, and Clara has to go prove that she's useful, so she does some random thing, goes, actually no, I know where he is, and they pinpoint where he is. They go back in time. Now, the next part would have probably been really awesome, had I been paying full attention. I wasn't. And I think it may have been the part of me that psyched it up for me not to enjoy the episode, because I just have that sort of hatred towards Doctor Who now. I love it, but I still just hate it, because I just love David Tennant so much. I don't know, I went in, like I said, with meh expectations, so that might have ruined the episode a bit for me. But anyway, so the Doctor comes in, it's like a medieval arena. So the Doctor comes in playing a electric guitar on top of a tank. Now, if that had happened in the old series of Doctor Who, I probably would have loved it. And whilst I was watching it, I was thinking, if David Tennant was doing that, or Christopher Eccleston, I would have thought that was amazing. But, again, it's probably just my fault for me ruining it for myself. I just kind of sat there and thought, this should be amazing, but I'm not finding it amazing. But anyway, it was still pretty cool. So, it turns out that there's been this snake guy looking for the Doctor. The Doctor's realised he's only got a day to live, so he goes out and messes up with time, teaches everyone in the past the word dude. And again, I felt like that was a bit of a Matt Smith, I'm trying to be quirky for the sake of being quirky thing. So, this snake guy who's working for Davros, who's looking for the Doctor, yeah, there's a massive bit before where he's looking for the Doctor. So, he's like, I'll take the Doctor with you, and then Missy's like, oh, it's a trap, I know traps. He's like, oh, I'll go along with you. And then Clara's feeling a bit left out. So she goes, I'll come along as well! If you can't tell, I really just do not like her character whatsoever. But anyway, so they all go along. The Doctor doesn't like it, but they all go along. Anyway, this is where I kind of really wasn't paying attention. But it ends up that they end up going to a planet. They don't know what the planet is. It looks like they're on a spaceship, though. Because they've been hiding the planet because it's secretly the Dalek homeworld, Skaro. And Davros is really upset because the Doctor, like, left him there, left him to die as a kid in the hand mine thingy pit of despair and doom and whatever. So he's really upset about it, and Davros is going to die the next day as well. So I found that's quite a cool plot point, that the Doctor and Davros, who are supposedly arch enemies, they're destined to die on the same day. Their paths intertwined, and now they're destined for each other. I expect there is fan fiction of Davros and the Doctor. Ugh, half robot and half really weird old man. Ugh. In the background, there's all these different clips of the Doctor talking about Davros or being with Davros on dates. The point where I suddenly gained a lot more interest in the episode was the bit where I suddenly heard David Tennant go, and I suddenly heard his voice. I was like, oh, wait, what's going on? And then it suddenly flashed on to other Doctors, and I'm like, oh, okay. What happens next is that the Daleks have found the TARDIS, because it was with the Doctor in the medieval times, so they sort of go, oh, well, he was here, so the TARDIS must be here, which is pretty sound ways of thinking about it. And they are like, oh, let's blow it up. And then Missy's like, well, no, don't blow it up, because if you use this thing, you can go to any time, any place, anyone, whatsoever. Just kill them. Rule the world. You'll be invincible, pretty much. You know, the one thing that stops the Daleks is that they can't travel in time, so they can't go back to the start of the universe and kill everyone else, because that's all they'd want to do. Missy's like, no, don't blow it up, you can go anywhere. And you need me, though, because I'm the one who can tell you how to use it. They go, and they look to this Red Dalek, who I assume at the point is the leader, and he just goes, screw her, kill her. So he goes, mass extermination, which is the bit that they kept replaying in the trailer. Yeah, they kill Missy right there and then. So I was a bit like, oh, okay. And then the Doctor's like, oh man, you killed her, why? Yeah, he does do that. Or he either doesn't care, one of the others. Again, like I said, I was paying minimal attention, but just enough to do a review on it. And Clara decides it's a good idea to, while she's in the middle of about 10 or 20 Daleks, to run towards the door, which all of them are facing because they just shot Missy, who was standing in the doorway. So she runs straight towards them and instantly gets killed. And I was at that point like, oh, well, they're all dead. They're going to come back in the next episode. And what happens next? The Doctor, in the next episode time, or to be continued or whatever, he goes back and he has a gun to Davros's face whilst he was a child. So the Doctor's going to kill a child, who also goes on to be half old man, half old robot. But yeah, like my one thought though, when it finished, was, oh, that was over quite quickly. Again, that may have been because I was A, playing the Legend of Zelda on my 3DS, or B, that it just did not seem to really grasp me that much, which is again probably because I wasn't paying attention. But overall, it was a meh episode. There were parts of it that were pretty cool. It wasn't awful like it was a couple seasons back where I just could not be bothered to watch it. I actually paid some attention to it. Probably Clara's character wasn't that annoying this time round, but I still just harbour this sort of, not hatred, but dislike for her from past series, and for ruining my favourite TV show in Season 7. Yeah, it was Season 7. Personal opinions right now. Yeah, character wasn't that irritating, and the Doctor was kind of cool at some points, like the tank scene where he rides a tank in whilst playing electric guitar. That was cool, but I just wasn't that immersed in it to really feel like, yeah, this is awesome. It was, yeah, that could be awesome if I was really immersed in it. It was, I liked Missy in this one. I didn't like her last time in the last couple of episodes. She just didn't really make me feel, oh, she's awesome. This time it was like, okay, she seems pretty cool. All of the characters were okay. So if I was to review this episode, I'd give it an okay out of 10. It was which is a 5. You know, it wasn't that bad. 7, 6 or 7. It was alright. It wasn't that great. But I will actually watch this series. Check out on iPlayer. I assume it's out now. It's usually out an hour after. Alright episode. So I would say watch this series. Might be for you. Might not be. But you probably enjoy it more than I do if you don't harbour a grudge against half the characters already. But anyway, again, sorry for not making another episode for so long. I think it's been 2 months. And please remember to like, comment and subscribe. Check out my other videos. So like I said, check out this series of Doctor Who. It looks like it might be okay. Anyway, see you on the next episode, whenever that is. Ta-ta for now.